Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany from HITMC, and I'm sitting down today with Laura Bastardi from Matter Health, Matter Communications. Laura was our HITMC Award winner for Rising Star at an agency. So Laura, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. I'm going to pop right into some questions. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Matter Health, Matter Communications.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm 26 years old. I am from and currently live in Nashua, New Hampshire. I went to the University of New Hampshire. And when I graduated in 2017, I was hired at Matter Communications as an intern. And I've really been there ever since. And since then, my role at Matter has really evolved and changed, of course. I'm now a senior account executive on the Matter Health team. So all of my clients at the moment are health tech providers. And kind of day to day, I do a lot of media strategizing, pitching, a lot of content creation, and really just provide counsel and recommendations on all things PR for our clients. So we do a little bit of everything over here.
That's awesome. And now, you kind of talked about, getting into the role at Matter Health. Did you, when you were graduating or when you were, interning, did you always see yourself going into an agency, or kind of what made you pursue that role?
So I did want to work at an agency. Healthcare was not on my radar at the time. When I actually started at Matter, I was an intern for a wide range of clients. I had a consumer health client, a B2B industrial tech client, a retail marketing tech client, and a healthcare tech client. So I was really across the board. And pretty quickly, I noticed my interests personally and professionally were drawing me towards that healthcare client. I noticed I was reading more of their industry news and trying to understand their space and spending more time on that more than the others. And I noticed I had a knack for that in my work as well. So really over the course of a few years, as teams changed and clients changed, I transitioned to an all healthcare client base, and I've been that way for about a year now, and I love it. But when I came into Matter, I knew nothing about healthcare. I didn't plan on working in it, but it was the way it worked out, and it worked out the right way.
That's great. And healthcare can be, overwhelming for people. There's a lot of intricacies, regulations, and things that, go into the healthcare industry. But I can't remember who said this, but maybe it was Colin, but he said, if you are in healthcare and it does interest you, stick with it, because, it is a pretty rewarding, industry to be in.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Okay, so let's pop into the award for a few minutes. So you were our HITMC Award winner for Rising Star at an agency. What was it like winning the Rising Star Award?
It was the coolest thing ever. I was so surprised when my name was called on the virtual award ceremony. And at the time, my laptop webcam wasn't working. So everyone had their cameras on, but I did not. So when they called my name, nobody could see my real-time reaction, but I absolutely did a little celebratory dance by myself because I was really so surprised. It was really cool. It was definitely the highlight of my year.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. It makes me, think of those award shows when, you see everybody on the screen and then someone calls your name and, that genuine surprise look or surprise feeling. That's such a cool, a cool thing to have. And a little bit more on that, has the award or winning the award changed anything for you, or, what does winning the award really mean to you?
It means a lot. And I think the main reason why it meant so much was because I was nominated by my colleagues. And it just solidified the fact that my hard work is noticed and that it's valued, and that I had earned trust and respect among my colleagues and within the HITMC community. You know, everybody wants to be validated, and they want their good work to be noticed. And I think in an agency environment where everything moves so fast, you do something really great and then you have to do the next thing. And you're just constantly moving. I think it meant so much that the people I work with took the time to submit me for the award, and that my work speaks for itself. It was really cool. I was very proud to be the rising star.
Of course, and as you should. And you know, you're right. You know, working at an agency, I've never done that myself, but I've heard, you know, it's such a quick pace that there aren't those moments where you can just kind of take a breath, or there's so few moments where you can just take a breath and, you know, either be recognized or recognize the work that you've done, or even, you know, just take a breath to say, oh, like I've done so many things this year, and really take them in. So, you know, I'm glad that your colleagues were able to nominate you for all your hard work. You know, and speaking of hard work, you know, is there a project this past year or past years that you've, you know, personally been proud of during your time at Matter?
It's such a hard question, because even though I've done a million things, of course, it's just like goes blank to me for a second. Over the past year, I think the work we've done for our clients during COVID has been rewarding, mainly because, you know, we've never dealt with anything like this before. We kind of had to relearn how to do our job compared to day to day before. Nothing was the same. So we really had to spend time figuring out the best way to tell our clients' stories. How to tell meaningful stories, how to have our clients' voices heard and get the word out there about how they were helping. And I think we did a good job. I think it was a difficult landscape to work in, especially in PR, and when there's so much hard news to be heard and to be told. But I think our clients were very pleased with our performance and the way we were able to navigate. And I was definitely proud of how we handled that, and how we're still handling that since we're in the thick of it still.
Definitely. And, you know, I think it was you said it very, you know, articulated it very well, that it was a whirlwind, I think, for everybody. And, you know, nobody really knew what, you know, to do next or what the next steps were. You know, so I'm sure, you know, your team is super proud to be able to, you know, take what your clients needed and getting, you know, not only the hard news out there, but some of the good news that was happening with your clients as well.
Yes, absolutely. It was a balancing act, but I think we did it well.
For sure. You know, and kind of expanding on that, you know, as we talk about the healthcare industry, you know, a lot has happened within the last year, and I'm sure more is going to happen this year within the healthcare industry. But, you know, what gets you most excited about the work that you guys do in healthcare?
I would say the moments where we see our work materialize in the real world and day to day of our clients. And by that, I mean, say we secure a feature story for our client, whether they helped a hospital save X amount of millions of dollars over the course of a few years, or reduce readmissions by this percentage, or whatever it may be. Securing that feature story in a healthcare publication or business press, that's exciting on its own. But I think it takes it a step further when sometimes, you know, a few weeks down the road after that story had been published, our clients share these stories with us that this hospital approached us because they saw this story. They read what we were able to do for this other hospital, how we were able to make their lives easier and bring more value. And then it led to other providers reaching out to them to partner with them. I think that's very exciting because that is one way that the work we do, and when so much of it is digital on the computer, on the internet and everything, I think that's very cool and exciting because that means our work is connecting companies who are actually improving the healthcare system. And I think it's meaningful.
Definitely. I mean, that kind of leads into kind of the next question, but the impact, that you feel your work has had on your clients. Do you think, that is the biggest impact that what you guys do at Matter has on your clients, is being able to, highlight them in that light?
I do. I think all of our clients do slightly different, but all very important, valuable things. And I think us telling their stories and having their voices heard and showing people what they can do and what they are doing, I think that's so impactful because we help our clients do what they do for more people. And we help inform providers who might need their services, need their help, of who they are and help connect them. I think that's very impactful.
Definitely. I love that. So switching gears a little bit, let's take some time to maybe look forward a bit. So, you have come a long way from graduating into the role where you are now. You've excelled your career, which is so great. And not to sound too cliche, but where do you see yourself in 5 years, or where would you like to see your career, in the next 5 years?
I really do see myself growing at and with Matter. And I see myself in 5 years from now in a manager position. I really love Matter as a company. I love our leadership. I love my colleagues. And I feel challenged there, and I feel fulfilled in my work. And when I feel that way, I've never been someone hungry for change. I feel I still feel challenged, but I feel comfortable where I am right now. So I would love to grow with Matter over the next years and move into the manager position and kind of hone my skills there. I just don't see it changing in that time span.
Well, that's great. And, a lot of, young professionals, bounce around a lot and, don't necessarily, stay with a company for so long. But, I think we're seeing, especially in this big change that we've had in this last year, I think what people are craving is, a little bit of consistency. But I also think it says something, when you find a company that really, jives with what you want and what you're looking for in a career, being able to stay with them and, work your way up with the company is something that's so great to be able to do within our industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know everybody says the grass is always greener on the other side. And I do believe that. And so many people my age, they've hopped around because they're always looking for something better. But I've always felt very lucky to work at the company I work at, where they value us as professionals and employees, but also always treat us like humans, and they care about how we're doing personally. And yeah, it's a good place to be.
And I think that's super important, especially when you have a team that, like you said, cares about you and really cares about you. That's something that you want to kind of hold on to pretty tight. So, if we're looking into 2021 and we think of, I see all these posts and articles about, predictions for 2021 or, trends that are happening within the new year. What trend within healthcare marketing are you keeping your eye on this coming year?
So I think there's plenty to keep an eye on. I think healthcare marketing has changed so much in 2020, and it's going to keep changing in 2021. Something I'll keep my eye on is probably the emphasis on digital content creation and kind of a renewed focus on it. I think it's a good place to invest energy and resources and time and money, because you can use it in so many different ways depending on what you want to get from it. And when people are kind of consuming more information than they ever have before, because we're all at home, we're all on our computers, we're not making connections, say at in-person events yet again. I think the kind of the renewed focus on how we create content, how we make it engaging, what we consider high quality today, and the different ways people use it, whether it's creating a white paper to generate leads, but then you chop it up and you use it as social fodder or graphics for your website. I think investing and spending time on creating content will be a big trend in healthcare marketing for sure.
Awesome. And are you, and in your, in your team at Matter Health, are you seeing any types of digital content or digital assets that are, performing well, or, that you're kind of, anchoring to within in 2021?
I think it's two things. It's one, our clients who maybe didn't have content creation in their scope of work are now interested in adding it in, because they have so many things to say. They have so many people they want to get in front of, and so many of them they don't have the resources to do it themselves because there's so much going on. So I think clients who didn't have a big interest in content creation before now have it. I've seen that across a lot of clients over the past, say, 6 months. And I've also seen a good amount of clients investing in creating data, like a lot of healthcare clients, whether it's like a benchmarking report where they're tapping the healthcare industry on how they use their data, the value they get from it, the opportunities to get more value from it. I think using surveys and reports to generate data and then to share that data with their audience is something that's picking up a lot of speed, because, as you know, everyone's interested in data right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you bring up two good points. I think we're seeing, that a lot. A lot of teams don't necessarily, content does take a lot of time to create. So we're seeing a lot of teams, leaning on either an agency or, a consultant or a content writer to actually produce that content that, they haven't had a chance to create over this past year because everybody has been so busy. And, you want to be able to have, content that's always reaching out to your patients or your audience. So I think that's something that is always, great to working on and to hone in on and create the pieces that are going to be useful for that target audience for sure. So switching gears a little bit, you mentioned when you had first got the internship that you were kind of working in a number of industries and kind of, set your teeth on healthcare. What would you suggest to someone brand new into healthcare marketing, how to get their start, or, things to help them, accelerate within the industry?
I would say do your research and become as educated on the space as possible. Whether you are on the job hunt and you're looking for a career in healthcare marketing, or you are newly hired in that role, I think do your research, keep an eye out on the big news in the industry, use resources like HITMC to learn about the latest trends and what's picking up speed and where things are going. I just think knowledge is power, especially in this space. And the more you know about the industry you're working in and the industry you're serving, the better. And then I would also say, as someone just starting out, it can be, like you said, it can be intimidating because it is a complex and complicated space, and there's so much to know and to learn. And I don't think that ever goes away. I think there's always something to learn, and I notice that every day. But I would say, don't be afraid to voice your opinions and share your ideas, even if it's intimidating and you're working with people who have been in this space for years and they're more seasoned than you. Always remember that they hired you for a reason, and it's for your ideas and your perspectives. And I think that should be shared.
Definitely. And, I think that is such a, great advice, because, I think far too often we all think that we need to do it all on our own. And we don't necessarily lean on either our colleagues or, like you said, communities to learn shared experiences, or how did you do this, or, what did you find when you did this? So I think, we a lot of us have to, not that it's an ego thing, but set that aside and really, lean into those colleagues or those peers who are, there and willing to help, right? I think that's super important.
Everybody wants to see you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of put the fears and the reservations aside, and try your best to lend something whenever you can.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, Laura, we are at time for today. I want to thank you again so much for sitting down with us and sharing a little bit more about yourself. I think the HITMC community is going to be able to learn from your experience and what you guys do at Matter Health. And congratulations again on the HITMC Award for Rising Star in an Agency. We're just excited to see where your career goes at Matter Health, and hopefully we can continue to work with you in the future.
Would love nothing more. This feels so cool. And yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. This has been Brittany Quemby with HITMC, speaking with Laura Bastardi at Matter Health. Thank you so much for listening to us. Have a great day.